In this video, we're going to take a very close look at the DD Hammocks Bergen Rucksack, which has a capacity of 55 litres, or does it? Because it's actually modular. Therefore, it has a few tricks up its sleeve, which we'll get to in just a second. I want to be completely clear and upfront here at the start of the video that I did receive this for free, although no money's changed hands. This isn't a paid for review. They haven't even asked me to do this video. So this is genuinely my go-to bag for my camping adventures. In fact, not only that, the actual high capacity bag I was using before this wasn't even mine and was borrowed off a friend for literally 2 years at this point. We'll start with a very quick look at the various pockets and general makeup of the bag before we get to the more interesting features, but just note a lot of the organisation sections are all together in this front removable pouch, which they refer to as the action pack, which I'll be honest makes me feel about 80% cooler than I actually am when I wear it. There's a couple of benefits to this in my view. Firstly, it means you can have all of your small items and maybe precious belongings handily accessible together. Secondly, it helps to allow that main pocket to just be a nice big open snag-free space to stuff things like a tarp and a sleeping bag in if you're in a hurry, as illustrated by me here. The storage capacity breakdown of this rucksack is 55 litres overall, which is 37 as part of the main rucksack, and then a further 5 litres each for the side pockets, which are simple single large zipped pockets, and then a final 8 litres in the action pack section. The extra pockets are attached and removed via a Velcro system, which is an interesting choice because those green strips on the exterior of the rucksack are fully MOLLE compatible, so there are already countless accessories, pockets and pouches that will fit to this rucksack perfectly, as they will with many other rucksacks. And that might actually be a more interesting feature over time if you think of a specific use that you want for a bag like this, and you'll be able to go out and find a more suitable pocket. If we have a very quick run through of the different weights of the pockets, of course, the overall weight of the rucksack will change depending on the setup you have. The side pockets are roughly 140 grams each, the action pack roughly 500 grams, and roughly 1.1 kilograms for the main rucksack. If you look at the back, you'll see it's just a simple foam padded area. It's not uncomfortable, don't get me wrong, but you can also tell from something like that that it's not a expensive, fancy, technical, modern rucksack, where you can see the other two rucksacks I've been using have got these metal frames, and well, look at that, that's just got 2 metal bars jammed straight down the back of it, whereas this Bergen not having anything like that means you can scrunch it up and use it as a pillow if you really need to. One of the other features that it doesn't have, but is sold separately, is a fully waterproof cover, which I think is a shame because you can see here, when I was using just a bivvy with no tarp, I had to use that waterproof cover on my other backpack, so that it kept not only the contents of the bag dry, but it was also just a handy place to put my boots to keep those out of the rain too. Personally, I tend to use this with the side pockets removed, just so that it's not quite as wide when I'm clambering through tree branches and undergrowth. And I actually realised one of the many useful features of it being in this modular setup is that when I found a pitch site on one of my recent camping trips, I took a few items out of my backpack just to lower the weight while I went away to find somewhere to have something to eat. And of course, if I'd have put my cooking kit in that little removable action pack, I could have left the entire main bulk of the rucksack there and just taken that smaller kit in its smaller bag. One of the few things that I really would like to be different about this is that it would have a removable waist strap, because very often I'm just going out to play with a tarp and some camo or lightweight stuff, so having all of the sternum strap and the waist strap and that is overkill, and whereas the sternum strap is removable, as I say, the waist one's going to be there with you whether you want it or not. So this is just a close-up view of the Velcro system and the wear and tear that's putting on these material loops. You can see the lower ones aren't too bad, but of course the upper ones have the full length of the Velcro being pulled through them. It's not something that I think is going to wear through them in the space of a couple of weeks or months, But it is something to be aware of, that it will start to look tatty if you are very frequently adding and removing those Velcro attached pockets. And as I mentioned, there are plenty of compatible accessories that don't use Velcro, and in fact you might already own them before you buy a bag like this. I did try threading the Velcro strips through in a different manner on both sides of the side pocket, and I didn't find that it made too much difference, if any, to be honest. So yeah, all in all, the overall construction is absolutely fine. I've got no concerns that it's going to disintegrate under a load of hard work in the middle of a long walk, or while I'm wading through the river here, for example. However, you can also see that it doesn't have all of the fancy bells and whistles that some of the more expensive end of the market has. So I pre-edited this video before doing the voiceover, and typically, as soon as I say that it doesn't have some of the fancy bells and whistles more expensive rucksacks might do, we immediately get this footage thrown on screen, which is of the action pack with the amazing little additional feature of a hidden sleeve on the back of it that contains the waist strap. So you can wear it around your waist, you can wear it over your shoulder, on your front or your back. And at 8 litres, this is just enough to store a few odds and ends in. I think they themselves mention camera gear. I personally see it more as something I'd keep my cooking stuff in. And my girlfriend actually was walking around the village with this, just visiting her friends. I think she had a water bottle in her purse and stuff with just the action pack on. Of course, if you don't use this as a separate bag, it does mean you will be carrying around that slight bit of extra weight with the extra strap and buckle system on it. But I think for the weight that you add to the kit, I would rather have this feature than not. And for the sake of getting what's effectively a small, entirely separate bag with this main rucksack, I'm definitely glad it's there, I'll say that much. So you can see here, this is the reattachment process, and although it might not be the swiftest system in the world, it's also not it's not a huge challenge. It's just threading a bit of Velcro strip through other material strips, let's be fair. Talking of small bags, I just want to show you this. This is my 30 litre backpack that I've had for goodness knows how many years. And when I was just going out for a few hours to test out a bivvy in extreme cold conditions, I realised that 30 litres was enough to fit all of my sleeping kit and a few extras in, which got me curious if I had just a slightly bigger rucksack, how minimal and how little I could take out with me for a proper night or two camping. So this being 37 litres at its base it's an interesting idea, so you might see me trying to use this for ridiculously minimal camping in the future, so watch this space. But I suppose as well, that's actually a good indicator of how versatile it is. I've been using this to replace the 55 litre bag that I've borrowed from my friend, and also of course you can have it as a far more streamlined, slimmer and lighter weight backpack too. So yeah, that's the DD Hammocks Modular Bergen Rucksack, and fair play, I quite like it. I'll leave some Amazon links to various items in the description below. If you buy through those, I will get a commission, so that's just another full disclosure moment there for you. If you want to support the channel, please do like the video, subscribe, check out all my other camping trips and gear. Feel free to become a channel member to support me, a Facebook subscriber, a PayPal supporter, or leave a super thanks. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to some of my recent supporters. That's Melissa L, Sean B, Chris Cole, Dawn H, A Sanford, T Seymour, David D, and Kaz G. Thank you very much, everybody. It really means the world, and it really, really helps out. Until the next time, keep it interesting, keep it bag worthy. Have a fantastic day, and of course, farewell.